It's your girl, Coach Kellie of the Coach Kellie Speaks Talk Show. Our special guest last week was Sharita Matthew Davis of Be Inspired the Salon. If you missed last week's episode, no worries. You can visit us at www.coachkelliespeaks.net, or you can follow our YouTube channel at Coach Kellie Speaks. Tune in every Monday at 5 p.m. on Listen Vision Live. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Coach Kellie Speaks. Join the conversation. Thank you for viewing, and God bless you. Girl, Coach Kellie, and I'm so excited to be with you on a Monday, April the 10th, 2017. I want to just start with a story that happened this week. So on Friday, it showed up, and it was so irritating in my car. It was just buzzing and buzzing and buzzing, and I was getting ready to, hold on. And I was getting ready to kill it. And then I heard the voice of God say, let it go. It wants to be free. It wants to fly. So the thing that was irritating me, it just was trying to escape. It was just trying to get away. And so there's a lot of things that's around us that's just buzzing. And it's not meant for us to kill it. It's meant for us to just let it go. Mm-hmm. There's some things on the inside of us that's just been buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. And it's not for you to stop that voice. It's for you to just raise that window down and just let it free. So on today, it's with great pleasure to just announce my very special guest, the Tasha Mayo, the fitness coach, the execution strategist, mom, coach, and my friend, the Tasha Mayo. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I just want to welcome you, but I want to know if you could just tell our viewers, like, your journey leading up to Body by Tasha.
Sure. So my journey leading up to Body by Tasha has been quite the journey, if you will. I started out in corporate America. Let me back up a little bit, actually. I was a teen mom. Had my first child at the age of 16, and that's a large feat in itself. And a lot of people, really counted me out at that time. However, I was raised by a very, very, very strong woman that just always instilled in me to continue what you've started. Whatever that is, continue what you've started. So as a result of me having a child at such a young age, it just propelled me to the next dimension at a very young age, because I knew that I had to go further because I now had this person depending on me. From that, life just happened, if you will, and learned that my baby had special needs. And from that, it really made me look at life completely different, because not only do I have this child at 16 years old, but now I have this child that requires more than the norm, if you will. And from that, I just really became a student of what it was that he needed. And I began just to sow into his life. And so from that, it just developed this person of nonstop, if you will. I just learned how to persevere through it all. And from that, I've always found myself on the other end of helping people get to the next level. So from there, I graduated college. I graduated high school because I was a teen, of course. Went on to college, became a cosmetologist. A lot of people don't know that. Became a cosmetologist, and then just have always been in the entrepreneur spectrum, if you will, and just did a lot of different things. So overall, from that journey, I just began to engulf myself in people and everybody else, and accept myself. And from that, it began to develop Body by Tasha. Body by Tasha was actually my buddy fitness initially. And that's simply what it is. What it said is what it is. And that's simply, I know that people wanted a buddy in the fitness industry, and I was their buddy. It changed to Body by Tasha as a result of my clients transforming, and from their transformations, they began to call themselves Body by Tasha.
Wow.
So that's where the name came from.
That is amazing. I did not know all of those things, but it's so fitting because it just seems like you have that mantle of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You know, it's like you wear it well. And so I know that you just left corporate America. Woo!
Yes. Woo, 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 woo.
And so what does it mean to be the execution strategist? That's powerful.
So the execution strategist is just awesome in itself. What I've found over the years is that God has given me the gift of execution. Once I start anything, I do it. Once I connect to anything, I'm going to finish it. And what I've learned over time is that people are full of inspiration, but they lack execution. They get inspired, they get fired up, but then they never finish anything that they start. And if you look over my entire life, everything that I start, everything that I set myself to do, I finish. And over time, I realized that this is a gift that God has given me, not only for myself, but also to share with others.
Wow. That is awesome. I mean, I'm just really excited because being a woman of purpose, it's like you walk in a certain stance, and you have this fearlessness.
Yes.
You know, you have this fearlessness in your eyes, and when I see you on Facebook Live, when I see your video, I see your Instagram videos. Mm-hmm. I see the power and the love that you share with whoever you're coaching.
Yes.
You know, and so I think that that's awesome, but I wanted to know, what was that journey like leaving corporate America? Yes.
Yeah, it was a journey, and I'm so glad, Coach Kellie, that you mentioned the journey piece, because a lot of times people jump out there prematurely, and then they get out there and they're like, what am I doing? God, you told me. And you don't take the time to listen to God and hear exactly what he said. And it's indeed been a journey. God actually spoke to me about leaving corporate America 3 years ago. It wasn't something that I just did overnight. He spoke to me 3 years ago, and he began to strategically develop a plan. And I always tell people, you have to participate in your own rescue. A lot of people think that it's going to be a miracle or something like that, but you have to participate in your own rescue. And God began to strategically tell me, do this, do that, and I just followed his flow. He told me to just follow his current, like the waves in the water. He told me just to ride his current out, and that's what I began to do. So 3 years ago, when he told me to begin to leave, I wrote my freedom letter. In 2013, 2014, I wrote my freedom letter, an open-ended resignation letter to my job, just saying, on this day, I didn't actually have a date, but that I would be leaving my job, and I emailed it to myself.
Wow.
And then from then, God just began to strategically send people my way to execute the plan that he had. And then from there, in December of 2016, he told me that October 7th would be the day that I gave my resignation to leave, December 2016. So that was the actual journey leading up to leaving corporate America, but it wasn't something that I did overnight.
Okay.
It was planned. It was strategically planned. It was following the voice of God. Okay. And in each step of following the voice of God, I continued to see the path clear and clear. And a lot of times people get stuck in that place of following the voice of God because of fear. Fear does not scare me. Fear fuels me. So when fear tries to rise up, I just go, because I know that I'm in the vein that I'm supposed to be in. I call it divine alignment. So I know that I'm divinely aligned when fear shows up. Fear has no place in my life. It doesn't scare me. It fuels me. And a lot of people get stuck right there in that place of fear.
Wow. Fear fuels me. I mean, that is such a powerful statement because there are so many people that are driven by fear. Fear is tormenting, right?
Right.
Fear has stopped so many people. I mean, people that can sing, I mean, better than a Beyonce, better than a Jennifer Hudson, but they won't get on the stage because they'll allow that spirit of fear
Exactly.
to hold them back. So for me, just talking to my audience, just listening to this execution strategist, set yourself to eliminate fear. Write your fears down and go towards them because I do believe that when you get close to your destiny, to your purpose, I do think fear will overtake you.
If you let it.
Yeah. If you let it.
Right.
If you let it. And so I think that what could you tell our viewers, just someone that's out there that just need a word?
Yeah. So here's the word for that. Here's the word for it. And this is what I tell everybody. Don't get stuck in perfection paralysis, right? You're trying to figure it out all at one time, and before you move, it has to be perfect. Go and grow. As you go, God will continue to give you everything you need to grow. But you got to go. If you stay in that place of trying to perfecting it, you'll still be there. If I was trying to perfect what God told me to do 3 years ago, I'll still be sitting on that corporate job. You have to go in order to grow.
Wow. I just feel like I just keep saying wow. Because every time I'm around Natasha, I feel like I'm not in her fitness program, but as her friend, I feel her stretching me. I feel that iron. I could just hear the sound of just iron just hitting against each other when I'm in her presence because she's full. And what would you say to someone who feels empty in this season? They've tried a lot of things. You know, they're posting things on social media. They're not able to monetize their posts. Like, what would you tell that person?
Yeah. So be still. You got to be still, right? You got a lot of people that are busy. And so they can't hear. So they're jumping and they're pulling for every next get rich scheme when God is saying, I never called you to that, right? So you need to be still. You need to be clear. You need to hear the voice of God of whatever it is that you're supposed to do, because God has already given us everything that pertains to life and godliness, right? So you don't have to be reaching and pulling and trying to figure it out because he's already figured it out. If you get still enough to hear, you can walk right into your destiny. But you got to be still. You can't be distracted by what everybody and everything that's going on around you. You have to be still and listen to hear exactly what it is for you, right? Because people get involved with what everybody else around them are doing. But what is it that God is telling you to do?
Yeah, that's powerful. So it's like hearing you say you have to have this God listening ear.
Yes.
Because you're not going to be able to move like you. And it's no overnight success.
Yeah,
right.
right.
You know, like you said, God gave me the word 3 years ago.
Yes, absolutely.
But you had to get to a place of stillness.
Yeah.
In order for you to hear what he was saying.
That's it.
And so how do you get over all of the noise and the nuances? Like where do you go?
Yeah.
For that place of stillness.
So I have a couple places that I go because it's all about investing in yourself. And when I say investing in yourself, a lot of people limit that just to monetary. No, I'm talking about investing in yourself because your time is something that you can't get back. So I go to my local church, right? Because that's an investment for me. I'm sitting, I'm listening, I'm hearing. I have morning meditations every single day. Like you shouldn't start your day without some form of meditation. Right?
Wow.
And then I'm always listening to motivational talks, right? I don't say speeches, but talks, because I'm in a place of receivership. So you're not just speaking to me, you're talking to me. So I have mentors that don't even know they're my mentors. That's another thing. People want to be up close and personal. You don't have to be up close and personal to mentor me. So I have mentors that I seek out, that I listen to, that I allow to speak into my spirit on a daily basis. So that's what I do to fuel me.
I think that is so powerful because I stepped it up a little bit this week. I said, I want to, because a lot of times I'm in my car and I'm listening to, different people. I'm listening to my man of God. I'm listening to recaps from, service or whatever. But I was like, you know what? In this season, I want to step it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I set myself, and this may be a lot for someone else, but now we have Bluetooth. We
Mm-hmm.
can connect our Bluetooth to our phone. I mean, it's stuff on MP3.
Yeah.
So you can literally be at your desk being poured into.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you watch what you watch.
Yes.
And
yes.
be careful what you listen to.
Absolutely.
Because when you're watching all of the reality stuff and junk, you don't know that is feeding you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to be very, very intentional what you watch in this time of purpose.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I
also listen to myself, right? Because a lot of times we're speaking and we're coaching others and we're not allowing that same fuel to feed us back. So I'll go back and I'll listen to coaching calls that I have recorded for other people, and that fuels me as well, right? So you have to allow yourself to be fed by yourself, if you will, because you have some greatness on the inside of you that you're giving out to everybody else. So you got to go back and listen to yourself. Yeah.
So that right there, I mean, I'm so pumped up. Like, this opportunity for me to do this show, which I said no to so many times, was just powerful, because one of the things that God downloaded, he said you have this great opportunity to ask these amazing people your own questions.
Right.
You know, and because it's so many questions that I have, like each guest that I believe is to share this platform has something for this season, something for this time. And I don't believe that anything just happens by happenstance.
Not at all.
I mean, just sharing your story today about how you have somewhere to go that's close by.
Right, right.
I mean, you can share that story if you want. I just think that that's so powerful, because it lets you know when your steps are ordered, how things just flow a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, you can share if you want to.
So what I shared with Coach Kellie earlier before we started was, initially when she asked me to come on the radio show, I thought that it was going to be at her studio, which is not far from mine. And I'm a person that I do not like to cancel. In fact, I don't cancel anything for myself or for my clients. And I teach a 6 o'clock class. So initially I thought it was at her studio, which is probably about 10 minutes from mine. So I was like, okay, cool, no problem. I can do the interview and then go and teach my clients. However, I learned that it was further than what I thought, so I had to make some arrangements. At any rate, the arrangements were seamless. It happened. And on Saturday, I got a phone call to speak at Howard University, which is right across the street, if you know where Listen Live is. Howard University is right across the street from here. And I told the young lady that reached out, I said, sure, I can do it, but I have a 5 o'clock interview, so it would have to be after that. And she said, perfect, it's at 7 o'clock. So again, when you go, you will grow. So you got to get out there. I tell my clients, and not just physical. A lot of people look at me from my journey of losing over 100 pounds, and they put it in this box of just physical. I am so much more than just a physical coach. But I tell all of my clients, whether it's my business clients, whether it's my life coaching clients, I tell all of my clients, to swim or swim. Stop looking at sink or swim as an option. It's swim or swim. When you go out there, go knowing that you're going to win. Sinking is not an option. Just swim or swim. Just go and allow God to do what he's already said that he's going to do. Allow him to be God.
So you set yourself in alignment.
Yes.
And that's the thing where I think a lot of people are afraid to do, is to jump out there. Because there's some people, they may not be fear of failure. It may just be fear of success. Like, oh my God, once I become successful, I got to keep up with this and the hair and the makeup, and I got to keep up with all of these things, and it's not in you. Mm-hmm. It's not in you at all, and it's not even about you.
Right, not at all. Not at all. I tell people, don't get it twisted. God makes me look absolutely amazing, right? Because I stand up against some giants that has been in this industry for years, right? But it's God. It's the anointing that rests on my life that I'm able to not even compete, because it's not a competition, because only you can do what you can do, right? So I know that it's the anointing of God that rests on my life for me to do what I do and the way that I do it. So you have to understand that. And for me, it's not even about success. It's being obedient to the call.
Awesome. So what's next for the Tasha Mayo, Body by Tasha, Execution Strategist? What's next?
So, what's next is going around the world. And when I say going around the world, I'm not talking about physically. If that's what God has called me to do, then so be it. But I believe having a voice, going out speaking, actually sends your message around the world much faster. I remember God telling me that it was worldwide when I only had 5 clients.
Wow.
But because he's already proven himself to me time and time and time and time again, that's a piece of carrot to God, right? So it's going across the world, sharing the message of execution. Because so many people get stuck in inspiration that they never get to a place of execution. So it's going around the world and teaching people how to execute, release everything that's on the inside of you, whether it's losing weight, getting in shape, release it. Do that, because what people fail to realize, and I'm actually going to hone this back and I'm going to connect it to the physical, is your physical body is designed to help you to help you in your assignment. You have to be healthy in order to do your assignment to the fullest potential, right? If you can't walk up the street or up some steps without breathing hard, that's a problem, because that's your heart.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one way that I'm going to share with people around the world, is to get your heart healthy, right? So that you can share your message. You can do what God has called you to do, whatever that is, whatever it looks like. So that's one of the things of next for Datasha Mayo Enterprise.
Okay, so how can we get in contact with you, your website, and your website?
Yeah.
Your website.
Okay, so website is www.bodybytasha.com. That's Tasha with an O, Tosha. It's Body by Tasha on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So they can contact me there. And then they can get other service, because, again, we're not just limited to the physical. It's all about mindset with us. A lot of people are attracted to Body by Tasha because of the weight loss of not only myself, but also the weight loss transformation of others. But it's much more than just losing weight. Anybody can lose weight. Anybody can teach you to lose weight. But it's about mindset. It's about addressing the whole man. With Body by Tasha. And so we do that, and that's what's attractive. That's why you see such great transformations with Body by Tasha, because we deal with the whole man. We are addressing the mindset when you come in, and then everything else flows as it needs to.
Can you tell us, just because you just had a getaway?
Yes. Yes.
So what takes place at the getaways?
Yeah, so the getaways are a time of refreshing for yourself. You know, a lot of times, as I mentioned earlier, we get so caught up in giving to others, and we either never give back to ourselves, or we give ourselves what's left, and that's very little. So in the retreats, and that's what it is, it's a retreat, is they learn to just relax, to invest in them, to reflect on where they've been, where they're going, to regroup. So it's a combination over this 4-day weekend of just giving back to them, of investing in them, of getting back to where they're supposed to be, that a divine alignment. Because being a mother, a wife, a friend, that can have you all over the place. So in this 4-day weekend, it's not just us coming together, but they have assignments to complete, right? So when they come back, they're not just being filled at the retreat, they're coming back full, and they have tangible tools to help them continue in the process.
Wow, what a great time we've had. Thank you so much, Tasha, for just being a part of this. As I said before, this whole entire show is talking about business, personal development, and financial freedom.
Yeah.
And so I want to get deep into those issues, because a lot of times we see people on Facebook and social media, and they're at their finished product.
Right.
And so just as it is with baking a cake, you see what's on the box, but then there is a that's a recipe that you got to backtrack, right?
Right, exactly.
So you see that beautiful coconut cake or red velvet cake or whatever, but then you have to say, how did that cake?
Right.
So this show is a how-to show.
I love it.
And so I thank you for sharing some of your recipe with us today.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully you can come back another time.
Yes,
And
I'd love
so,
to.
do you have a coaching program as well?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the Mastermind Accountability intensive. It's a 4-week intensive where we have new and aspiring entrepreneurs come in where they just don't know how to release what's on the inside of them. So we
Okay.
actually teach them that in the 4-week intensive.
Okay, awesome. Can you
Yeah.
say your website and
Sure.
your social media one
It's
more time?
Body by Tasha. That's Tasha with an O.com. And it's Body by Tasha across all the social media platforms.
Thank you so much.
You're
Tasha.
welcome. Thank you for having
We're
me.
going to have a quick break and we will be back with Breland Bowman. Like, it's just really been declared that this is going to be the best week, part 2. So, like, my expectation is, like, through the roof. Is everywhere. So now I'm so excited to welcome my guest, my special guest, Breland Bowman.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. I mean, this is literally one of a dream come true. You know, so to see your dreams come true is really amazing. God is just, we was just sitting here talking about how amazing God really is.
Yeah, I mean, I always say he like that. And, I mean, I use my terms because I can relate to him that way. He's a good father. He's a good daddy. He is literally just everything. And so I can't even, I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And so Breland Bowman, wife, minister, author, God chaser, purity
sure.
activist, now co-host of the Tim and Breland Show.
Who is that person?
Who
is that person? I don't even know who that is. I mean, well, I don't, like you said, God is like that. Really, just where I am now is a true testament of when you honor God. Like, literally, I've given my life. She said I was a God chaser. I am a God chaser. I chase God wherever, okay? Listen, I need so much of God all the time. So, really, those accomplishments are nothing without Christ, nothing without God.
Yeah. I just got some. You got to bear with me because for me, it's like seeing people, God chasers, and seeing once they make this commitment, it's almost if God just kind of pushes you, almost like the Spike Lee movie, how you just standing there, and he's just pushing you right along. I see that in your life.
Yeah.
And I just see him continuously just pushing you forward. What is that like?
It's overwhelming. It's very overwhelming because for a long time it wasn't that. It wasn't that fast pace, you know, consistently seeing the blessings of God. And sometimes it's that still moment or that quiet moment or that drought where it's like, God, where are you? Like, I've been living right. I've been doing right. So I believe it's just the consistency, you know, that I've shown throughout the years that has helped me be where I am today, where it's like, okay, God was like, you know what? I'm not going to let you wait no longer. It's just going to be like boom, 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 boom. And then the Amos just talks about things will happen so fast that your head will swim. And literally my head is swimming, okay? Like swimming because things are just happening so fast. But I believe it was coming together with my husband really ticked off everything and just started blowing up for us.
Yeah. And so if you can, because I know there's a lot, but if you can share that journey.
Okay, I can do that. Well, at the age, most people know my story, but at the age 13, I decided that I was going to remain a virgin and I was going to live this lifestyle fully out and not just, you know, say it but not really mean it, because a lot of people say, you know, they're going to live for God and they're going to do it, but they really don't do it. And that wasn't my commitment. I remember at my birthday party, you were there, and I said, you know, this is not just something I'm saying, but this is something I truly mean, that I really want to honor God with my life and with my body and all that I am and all who I will be. So that was the first step for me. That was the first step for me. And at age 13, I knew that I was going to be a virgin, but I didn't know the challenges, you know, that will come, because at like 15, I met this guy and he was fine. I was like, okay, what's about to happen? So So really making the commitment, but if it's not in your heart to do, you'll never keep it. You'll just never keep it. So it was a commitment that was in my heart. So that was the beginning of that. And then just being faithful, being consistent at my local church. Shout out to my pastors, Dr. Mike and Dee Freeman, Spirit of Faith. Being committed to my local church, being a servant. You'll see me serving. I had a lady come to me last week, and she said, I remember when you were cleaning the back room when you were, 7 years old or however old she said. But that was all the training process. That was all my story. And sometimes we want to be so great, but the Bible says that he who wants to be great must serve. So that was another step, being committed, serving, and just really knowing who I am. That helped me so much. Know who I am in Christ, knowing who I am, regardless if people didn't like me, if they loved me, if they hated me. All of that just played a major part in who I am today.
What a wonderful journey. I do remember, you with your white shirt, and your uniform, serving the pastors and things. And so a lot of people want to skip that step. But like you said, the greatest is the server.
Absolutely.
And so what would you say, okay, what would you say to a person who just had a broken heart? They just had a breakup with their boyfriend or girlfriend. What would you say to that person? What would be your advice for that person?
First things first, the Bible says that he's close to the brokenhearted. He is close to the brokenhearted. That is Bible. God's promises will never fail you. And when you know that God is close with you, that's the first step to getting over. You'll be able to know that he's with you so you can go through that process, because having a broken heart, nobody wants to have a broken heart. It's, it's challenging. It's terrible. It's, you're crying. You don't know if you're going to get up the next day or if you're going to make it out the next day or what you're going to do. But knowing that God is with you through every step of the process, and stop listening to sad music. Stop listening to all of that. Get out of that zone. Put yourself somewhere else so you can really get out of that mode. But you have to do something. You have to change something.
Awesome. Yes, I love how you said stop listening to sad music.
Girl, listen.
Because so many people, they're not intentional about protecting their hearts.
Right.
And then you also said that it was my ability to keep my heart right. Mm-hmm. In the process of when you said God win, mm-hmm. but you trust God to deliver everything that he said.
Absolutely.
And so it wasn't overnight.
Yep.
And for so many people, they see the finished product.
Right.
But they don't know the process. So it's very important to listen to people who are sharing their testimonies.
Right.
How did you develop the spirit of excellence in everything that you did?
Wow. My parents didn't play. I mean, it was just something they didn't tolerate. They didn't tolerate certain things. So from a young age, just the environment I came out of course, that was literally like the biggest thing for me. And just keeping that, because okay, for instance, my parents wouldn't let us quit. So, if we signed up for a swim team, I remember this one time. I signed up for this swim team in high school, and I wanted to quit so bad. And my mother said, no, you can't quit now, because when you get older and something gets challenging, you're going to want to quit then. And for me, it was like, are you crazy? I'm 10. Don't nobody care about later on. But those are the moments that help me, have that spirit of excellence now, because now there's just certain things I won't tolerate. I like to be on time. I like to look nice. I like to make sure all of my customers are taken care of. I like excellence. It's something that I just love now. And, being at a church where you have the spirit of excellence everywhere you're around, it's like, this is a spirit of excellence. And if it ain't excellent, and then you start cringing because you just don't like it. But the spirit of excellence literally is who I am and what my parents taught me to be.
And that is so great to have that foundation.
Absolutely.
I think foundation is the key to everything in business. And there's a lot of people that, they want this success. They want it because it looks so good, but they don't have the foundation.
Right.
And I think that foundation is key. So you says, I developed a spirit of excellence at a very early age.
Very early.
And
age.
so some of the parents that are out there watching, what would you say to those parents today? How can I say this? What would you say, because you're very young and you have accomplished so many things at an early age, so what would you say to those parents? What can they instill in their children?
Well, one, you said foundation. Foundation is so important, because if you don't have, like, if this table didn't have a foundation, it wouldn't be standing. We wouldn't be able to just hold on to it. So if you don't have a foundation and you get to the success and you get to these certain moments, you won't be able to sustain yourself. And you'll see yourself there, but then 2 days later, you're going to fall apart because you don't have any real foundation. So my parents, my dad always says more is caught than taught. And a lot of parents don't do what they're telling their kids to do. You know, they say, I'm going to do this, but then they do something else. So their child is looking at what you're actually doing, not what you're saying, because they're trying to weigh out, okay, she's saying this or he's saying this, but they're not really doing, you know, or it's not lining up the way it's supposed to do. So really, more is caught than taught. Whatever you say, do. Whatever you say, do. And be consistent. Be consistent. You can't tell them not to do one thing and you doing one thing. It's not going to work out, because kids nowadays are asking why. Why not? I want to know, why can't I do that? You know, they're asking more questions, right? Instead, right? It's like, okay, well, you just touched the stove then. No, but you know, they're asking questions, and even with virginity and with being celibate, it's like, it used to be you could just say, okay, don't do this. You know, okay, no, this gonna hurt you, don't do it. And now we're asking, why not? Everybody else is doing it, you know, what's happening? Why can I not do this? And show me some fruit of it. You know, what's the purpose of this? Why am I saving myself into marriage?
Yeah. That's great. That's phenomenal. That is, I mean, it's so admirable that you took that stand for yourself. And as a result, God honored everything that you wanted him to honor. I mean, just everything. I mean, knowing you, as long as I've known you, you always had dreams and things that you said you was going to do. You said you were going to, at 18, you're going to have a clothing store. You know, you did it. You're going to have an awesome man. You have that, you know. And so when did you know that it was time to walk in your divine purpose?
I would say I knew it was time for a while. At 13, that was really a defining moment for me. I didn't know all that I would be. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know a whole lot of things, but I knew that I wanted to follow Christ. And I knew that this is the decision that I wanted to have for the rest of my life. So that was really the moment I decided that my purpose was whatever Christ said. You know, my purpose was whatever Christ told me to do. And so it wasn't that I knew exactly what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted to do what he wanted me to do.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's next for Breeden Bowman?
Oh, wow. It's a lot happening that I can't share, but God is just faithful. You know, I can say that. It's just been a whirlwind. We have our new show, my husband, Tim Bowman. We have our new show on the Word Network on Saturdays at 1:30. It's so amazing. I'm just so excited. But we have the show, and then, you know, his new music is out. So it's just a lot going on, but it's a lot of new stuff that we're working on as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what would you say to a person that's in transition?
Transition in any area?
In any area. Because it's broad,
right?
But what can you say to our viewers about transition?
Transition is uncomfortable. I will say transition is uncomfortable, but know that something is coming out of that transition. I just taught recently patience, how patience only develops and grows in trials and in situations. So this transitional period is teaching you patience. It's teaching you to trust God. It's teaching you to know that God is faithful to do exactly what he said he was going to do. So hold fast. Just stay steady. Stay in that moment, because transition is bringing out something so good for you. And you're probably at the end of something great. Don't give up. Just don't give up.
Okay. And so, in the final thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
it's such an honor to be able to pour into so many people, and you have a platform every Sunday, and Echo. And so, what is that like to have a platform to be able to pour into so many people?
Wow, it's a privilege. It's an honor, because I never take it for granted that God has to use me or something, or I have to be here and I have to be on your show. I never take those moments for granted. So every Sunday when I go to Echo, I'm always just like, wow, like, God, you trust me enough to be able to share, different tips and different lifestyles and your word to these people, because my heart is to see everybody at Echo and everywhere that I share to see people do what God has called them to do.
That is awesome. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to have Natasha and Breland back on the show.
Yay!
All right. Hello. Welcome back to the Coach Kellie Speak Show. I have the girls back.
We're here.
So, and just wrapping up the show, I wanted to ask them both questions, like a panel discussion. Okay. My set assistant is like, look this way, okay? Because I keep looking at myself like, girl, you look good.
That's because you're so cute. That's why you're just too cute.
And so Breland, you have a new book out. Tell us about your book.
No Ring, No Ting. No Ring, No Ting. It talks about my story, remaining a virgin, and the steps that you asked me. It's in details. If you want to know my story, if you want to know my struggle, you want to get this book. I know you do because you're nosy. But no, at BrelandBowman.com or on Amazon, it's No Ring, No Ting. And I share about soul ties and really dealing with that because purity is not just a sex issue, it's a heart issue. Yeah. And a lot of people think, oh, no, if your heart is not right, you will fall every single time. So really dealing with the heart of the matter.
Awesome. So this is a question for you both. And I guess we'll go to Tasha. What did you have to give up to get to this place?
That's a good question. I don't necessarily know that I had to give up anything. You know, a lot of times people say, you know, I'd rather have, you know, God versus silver and gold, but who said you had to choose, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know that I had to give up anything. I believe that I just had to, you know, get in divine alignment and allow God to move as he wanted to move, to surrender to, you know, his call on my life. But I don't know that I had to give up anything.
Yeah, that I could piggyback right off of that because really when you make a decision to live for God regardless, some of the stuff that you used to want to do, you won't want to do anymore.
Exactly.
And his desires for your life literally become your desires for your life. So really divine alignment, like she said, there is certain things you think the devil will try to make you think you're giving up or you're sacrificing, but it's like he tried to make me think I was crazy for not having sex all my life. Then I got married. Then it was like now it's one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. You know.
Yeah. So. For me, I thought I had to give up who I was. Right. And I realized I didn't have to give up any parts of it. I remember going to the mall, getting a St. John suit, you know, when I was in seminary and all that stuff. But then I realized that I can be me, I could be fly, and I still can convey that message. Absolutely. And so I honed in on my own authenticity, and I became Coach Kellie. Yeah. And it has been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. Thank you to my special guests, Breland Bowman, Tasha Mayo. You guys are doing it big for the kingdom, making Jesus famous. Hashtag, right? Body by Tasha, hashtag. And I just appreciate every last one of you guys who follow my YouTube channel, Coach Kellie, on all social media websites. If you have any questions or concerns, any questions or comments that you may have for Breland or Tasha, you can shoot them over to CoachKellieSpeaks@gmail.com. We will try to get them answered for you because it is our heart's desire that you win in every area of your life. Change your thinking. We always win. Next week on the Coach Kellie, we have Unique Walker, the Kingdom Chick herself, and we also have Connie Gilmore, who is a premature widow. She lost her husband at 38 years old, and she has created an organization for women to house them, to help them in their transition. So next week is going to be absolutely amazing. And catch the recaps on Coach Kellie Speaks on YouTube. Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Bye.